Gary Lalou. First, I would like to say that the more I learn from your experiences and from the experiences of your contemporaries, such as Mike Rinder and Aaron Smith-Levin, for example, it hits me that there is a common denominator amongst you all. It's the fact that all of you guys have started your journey into Scientology, more specifically the Sea Org, with a sincere desire to help your fellow human beings. Despite all of the sacrifices that you guys knew were sure to follow by joining the Sea Org, you guys took a literal leap of faith. You all went into that organization knowing full well that the road ahead would not be one that would be easy or filled with the comfortable things that most people in this day and age, especially in this country, are used to having. One must realize when they see the whole picture that these actions show what kind of good-hearted people you guys must be to even entertain yet accept such circumstances. However, you've described in great detail that Scientology, the vessel you guys had taken to try and help mankind, was one that was nothing less than awful and horrible. I understand now, when one sees things in this light, that when you guys had come to the realization that the route you guys had chosen to help so many in this life was rotten to the core, that it must have been a deeply traumatic experience. My question is this: if Scientology wasn't the corrupt and vile institution it is, would you guys have continued your work in helping mankind? Do you think the sacrifices you guys had been making would have eventually become too much to bear as you all had gotten older? Okay, well, that's a tough question. You ask in the question whether if Scientology wasn't the vile and corrupt organization that it is, would we still be there or would we still be contributing? And of course, I think the answer would be pretty almost uniformly yes. Aaron left because his wife got pregnant. So, I guess that would be contingent on whether that rule was in force or not. Mike left, of course, because of the abuses, and I left because I saw that it was a abusive, lying, money-hungry organization. And I found out after the fact, I think we all do, just how bad it really gets. I think Mike knew from his experience with Miscavige, whereas, Aaron and I had no clue. So speaking for myself, I'd say that if it was a kinder, more beneficent organization that was more supportive of its members, if it tried to get its membership up the Scientology bridge the same way it tries to get the public up the bridge, if it, maybe paid a wage commensurate with inflation so that we weren't getting, chump change every week, then yeah, I probably would have stayed, because I would have been part of something that I would have been okay with the sacrifices I was making, because I felt that the mission was tantamount and that we were doing good work. And like I've mentioned many times before, I helped a lot of people in Scientology. Sometimes, in fact most of the time, I helped them despite Scientology, but I was so full of cognitive dissonance that I was able to rationalize almost anything. And so I would rationalize that I was helping them with Scientology and that I was making people's lives better. And in many ways I did. So I liked doing that part of it. And I continue liking doing that part of it with what I do now. So, it's just now it's a bit more, more honest. And it's not scammy. What I'm doing now is not scamming people. At the time, unknowingly, that is what I was doing. So I'm trying to give various ideas of how I think this question, is what your intent is here. If Scientology worked and produced clears and OTs that actually were clears and OTs, shit, I'd go back and work for them now, because that would be amazeballs. I mean, if you could produce people who have eidetic memory, don't get sick, and are cause over matter, energy, life, time, space, and form, I mean, for God's sake, that would be amazing. And, you could get Miscavige out of there. You could overcome those levels of abuse and move that ball down the road and help people to attain true spiritual freedom. My God. I think everybody would be beaten down the door of Scientology if that were true. But of course it's not true. None of it's true. And so, so don't judge me for saying I'd go back to work for that organization if those things were true, because those things aren't true. And of course I'm not going to go anywhere near Scientology ever again because of that fact. So, so I just want to make that clear that, you know, I would be willing to give up a great number of things, even now, if it was in the true forward progress of mankind. I mean, wouldn't that be worth something? I think it would be, and that's certainly what motivates me. So that's my answer to that question, and I hope that it satisfies.